Hey, we're live.
We're live. We are live.
I like that you went
Live.
with the red tie and the rose
I thought it
boutonniere.
needed. It was going to need. I was going to need a little pop.
Yeah, I mean, it goes well with the glasses.
Yeah.
Really actually matches my hat too. So
Yeah.
we're
We're.
coordinating very well.
Yeah. It was. I mean, this was. It wasn't. All we said was tuxedo T-shirt,
Yeah, that's all we said.
and now this
And
is. We're just. We're so in sync.
I know our time of the month falls on the
Yeah.
same day every month. Every month we're in sync.
It's scared. People are scared of how in sync we are. All right. I am bringing up.
You got a video?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's see it.
I do have. I was going to post this in the. This is just a nice, fun little treat.
Oh, so this isn't the normal
This isn't
debauchery.
well. This isn't my choice. I was going to post this in the group chat, because it's relevant. But
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Know what that means? Everything smells like gum trees. The weather gets warmer, but then everything smells like gum trees. You can try to hide, you can try to run, you can go out, it's gonna smell like gum. You can hit the park.
I love this.
On the park's gonna smell like gum.
Oh man.
It's springtime, you know what that means. Everything smells like gum trees.
It's like Jim Blossoms did it.
It's so great.
I love it so much. And guess I think I found it on Apple Music too.
Oh, really?
So I'm gonna be bumping this with the windows
yeah.
down when it gets to the 80s again.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Cum Tree time.
Yeah, the old ginkgo biloba trees.
Yeah, Cum Tree Hill.
Gum tree. We used to joke about that skating around Philly because when the weather got nice, we'd be like, God damn ginkgo, gum trees.
Where are we? All right, so this is what I wanted to bring up. I got two in here that are good.
I mean, I don't know how you're gonna beat cum trees. I have it in my head now.
My son has graced us with his presence. Thanks, Andy. It's a formal evening calls for formal attire.
I almost like slicked my hair back for this because my hair is like
I
down past my like nose and everything. So I'm like, you know what? There's no way to like shape my hair. I have to just slick it back and it would be perfect with the tuxedo.
Yeah, I thought about it too. That just no time for that.
But you know, I did have time for.
What'd you have time for, Dan?
Cum trees. Oh, I love it.
Oh, got these atomic wings from Wingstop. If I make a face while eating these wings, I'm giving the first 5 people $5, man. Simple.
I love the cut.
Oh no! Oh God!
He got it in his eye.
Oh.
I love subtle foreshadowing. It's my new favorite thing in Reels.
Yeah, it's a wonderful page. It's hard to top the Mentos and Coke lady.
Yeah, that was the best. Subtle foreshadowing's perfect.
This was a good one, and I had this one teed up. Where is she? There she is.
Until it's nice and tight on there. You give it some presses on the top. It's in the water. Oh God! What? Oh God! What's happening? Until it.
That was
yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's just I love that the edit, just that split second where chaos happens.
The subtle foreshadowing is my new favorite thing.
Yeah, just crushing Mimi from Drew Carey's show.
It's nice and
the
tight
Mimi
on
eyeshadow. Yeah.
Give it some presses on the top. It's in the water.
She got her Cleveland rock.
Oh God! What? Oh God! What's happening?
I don't know how you mess up a Soda Stream that bad.
I'm crying a little bit. Oh, I thought I was gonna cry during the award show, but man, this got me all teared up here.
This I like the making of a CO2 explosion by Christopher Nolan.
The music is very Christopher Nolan.
Oh God, what's happening? Said the factory default voice. Oh my God. Yeah, he's
The face.
yeah, too much Boy George. Oh man, yeah, the subtle foreshadowing is it's always a good one. It's always a good lead off.
You want to get a good belly chuckle out of me. Subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah, subtle foreshadowing is the way to go. I don't think I had anyone else teed up here. There was
I mean, incredible pick so far, Tom. I mean, you went all out for the award show here. The awards pre-show, if I may.
yeah, the awards pre-show. Dan is looking tan. It's his one. It's 1/16 of him really shining through.
Yeah, my 23andMe native side. Oh, the glasses are a hit. The glasses are a hit. We've discussed these. I mean,
ladies love the glasses.
You're stunting, man.
All right, I'll throw this last one up. This one, so I'm usually like scrolling through reels in bed after my wife goes to sleep, and the problem that I have is I'll end up finding something like so funny, like I can't control the laughter, and I'm like trying to keep it in. I'm just like violently shaking, and she's always like, she wakes up and she'll be like, "Stop watching those."
Your algorithm's like a virus, though. It has infected not only my phone, but I would guarantee everyone's phone in our group chat.
Oh yeah, because I'm just posting these in our group chat.
Every now and then when I get a video that's suggested to me that I just look at it, I go, Tom did this to me.
So this one made me laugh. I'm clicking on it from the screen. So this is one of those ones, I think it's like oh no. I'm not going to do this one, Dan. So the funny part about this was I mean, this is really like awkward.
Yeah.
But if you have to watch it on your phone, because when you bring the comments up, it like it just goes to here, and everyone's commenting like you can pull reminder, you can pull the comments up higher.
He's still 1,266 subject displays ability to complete basic motor skills.
But it's like he's still looking at me over the comments. So when you bring it up, it's like it cuts off like right over his nose.
Like the home Wilson from Home Improvement.
Yeah, so you can just see him like looking at you, judging you. I mean, it's a very emotional.
I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come over.
He's got a face that only groundhogs make when I go out to my yard and they see me.
Yeah,
like they look up.
He has the face that only a bunny would see right before it gets pet to death.
There are no rabbits allowed at that house.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, man, the Studio Ghibli one was pretty good.
Yeah. Did you meet him before or after the lobotomy? Can't tell if Buddy is happy or a hostage. It's looking at the comments is like reading graffiti from inside a bathroom stall, and the guy next stall is watching you.
Oh man, I got I gotta see.
You gotta pull this up on your phone because it's
Yeah, send that over to me, man.
yeah, it's well worth a
It's no subtle foreshadowing, but it's good chuckle. It's getting me a
yeah.
good chuckle here.
Yeah, here we go. Let me bring this. Let me give this a send to you here, Dan. Yeah, definitely worth it. You pull up yeah, so you can check it out, and there he is. Just looking over the comments. Just watch it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a reel from Carolyn Foltz at Carolyn CarolynFultz. Oh, bring it up. Check it out. This guy is
that was good, Tom. Excellent.
there's truly something going on here.
Or there's nothing.
It's just like a cheerful, tiny little woman and a giant lobotomized galoot.
Master Blaster. Who owned Bartown?
All right, Dan. We got a lot of beer to get into.
We do.
We got a rare 3-beer episode.
It is a rare one.
Yeah, so we'll do this. I got it kind of planned out, Dan. I got it spaced out time-wise.
Cool.
To give them each their own section. So I think we can get this done pretty nicely, pretty neatly.
Neat little gift for you guys here. Just wrap it up nice and neat.
Real neat little thing.
Slick stuff, fun stuff.
Neat stuff. All right.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's okay.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll do it. We'll get through it. We're fine.
Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Yeah. Damn. I was right by your house too, picking it up.
Oh man, it completely like left my mind until like just the intro right there. I went, fuck.
All right. Well, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the greatest podcast to exist in the history of podcasts.
Yep.
I'm your host, Tom.
And I'm your other host, Dan.
And we are here for a very special evening. If you are watching on, I don't want to do that one. If you're watching on the stream, which I highly recommend.
Highly recommend. If you're watching us on the screen on the stream, you can actually see Pornhub in the reflection of Tom's glasses while he's browsing.
Don't let them in on like what I do during the podcast.
Honestly, Tom, after seeing your Instagram reel algorithm, I shudder to think what it is on the old PH. Nightmare fuel. Absolute nightmare fuel.
But yeah, we're if you're watching on stream, if you're listening at home, it's a formal evening and it calls for formal attire.
It does call for formal attire.
We are dressed to the nines to paint a picture for you.
Calls easy top. We got a pair of sharp dressed men over here.
Oh wow, I like that, Dan. I like that a lot.
Like that?
Yeah, I don't know why my browser, I don't know if it's just untapped, is not working. But yeah, we're back. We're formally inducting our first class.
Yeah, it's our first first nominations. Inductees. Inductees.
We've nominated them. They've been nominated. and now we're bringing them in. It's our first class. We got two of our choices, and then we have a listener's choice that we'll get into.
I gotta say, it's gonna be a hoppy evening for all the beer
Yeah.
drinkers out there. We are going deep into hop territory with these styles here.
Fuck this. Yeah, we are. We're gonna get deep into some hops. I heard they recently added more hops to it. But yeah, give us a follow on all our major podcast platforms. Give us a rating, and give us a review. Shoot us a review. The Bit sent a very short and sweet review.
Beautiful. Love it.
Straight to the point for last episode. Can't wait for you to chug classics tonight.
Oh,
That's
I love it.
That's it. That's all.
I
there
mean,
is to
we dressed to chug classics tonight.
We really did. So yeah, we're gonna be enjoying some beers, inducting our Hall of Famers in, and it is still 2020 vibes. We're vibing still. We got a Tom choice tonight.
Tom choice. You're bringing some heavy vibes with this one.
Yeah, this is our vibes playlist is pretty nice. We have a very eclectic mix right now, as of right now. So it's just Untapped is being an absolute jackass right now.
Oh, I got it up. So
okay, yeah. Can you bring it up on yours? Yeah. Every other website's working fine for me. But yeah, so it's 2020 vibes. We're the best friends podcast in the world. We're starting right now.
Let's do it.
Moving before I'm loaded. The dancers need a dance floor. The swingers gotta swing. Fashionable people doing questionable things.
You know this kind of sounds like a band that would wear a tuxedo t-shirt while performing this song.
You know, the first time I heard it, I was like, is this Tom Petty or is this Warren Zevon?
It's got a little bit of that vibe. I do feel that in there.
It's like he sounds like Tom Petty, but he has like the inflection of Warren Zevon.
Yeah, the inflection definitely,
Yeah.
and like kind of the rhythm to it.
Yeah, so that's the Joel Plaskett emergency. It's fashionable people.
Joel Plaskett. What a
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
That guy's from Gary, Indiana, I bet.
That was a pull from the a great playlist. It's on Apple Music. I'm sure they have one on Spotify, but it's the Letterkenny soundtrack.
Yeah, Letterkenny never missed with their music.
No, and they and this one was like updated every season. It got updated, so it was a live update one, which was great.
What was the country music song they did? Like, I think it was the final season. It was like Yard Darts or something. It was talking about smoking beer or smoking cigs outside or something.
Was that wasn't that one that they wrote?
Yeah, it was one that they wrote, and it was like it played, and then they eventually put it on like Apple Music and stuff. There's actually a country singer that does it.
Yard Darts?
Yeah, it's like Yard Darts or something about like going outside and just ripping a cigarette.
I don't know. I remember the song. I just don't remember what it's called.
It's got an infectious rhythm to it, much like Cum Trees. And if you weren't here for the pre-show, you missed everything that has to do with Cum Trees. So
Sun Darts.
Sun Darts, that's what it was. Yes, Sun Darts. Smoking darts in the sun. Oh, dude, it's so good. I hate to derail us so quickly, but definitely look for it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. You hear that ambiance in the background, Dan?
Ooh, is that a little thunder coming through?
Yeah, it is a little thunder coming through.
Yeah, we've got quite a storm outside, so I hope we can get the stream and the recording down at least.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna find it on here.
Nah, it's okay. We can move on. We've got plenty of beer to drink here.
Oh. It was like It's like if they just had like an AI write the song.
Her daddy was a drifter. Her mama just wasn't right. Her brother said forgive her, but her sister put up a fight.
It's like the perfect like
lights come up,
like
a lonely one.
I don't know, kitschy like country song.
Oh yeah.
Talking about sun darts, talking about broken hearts, talking about teenage love and truck parts, talking about
teenage love and truck parts.
The album art for this is great.
Oh yeah.
It's just Jim Dickskin and with a truck. It's really great.
Oh yeah, it's he sings it in the episode. I forgot.
Yep. Jim Dickskin.
Dickens.
All right. So it's a very special evening, right, Dan? It's a
very intimate evening you're sharing with the Best Friends podcast as we induct our first ever Hall of Fame of craft beers.
Yeah. We've talked about the nominations. We've finalized the list, and now we bring them in. All right, let me bring up some music here.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we are bringing in our first beer. This was kind of a no-brainer, right, Dan?
Yeah, I feel like it just was discussed way too much on the podcast to not induct it in our first ever Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah. So, representing the first class of the craft beer, or a Hall of Fame of craft beers, we have Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Oh, baby, look at that.
It's just too fitting. We've talked ad nauseum about how special this beer really is. It's the all encompassing beer, right? It's an OG. It's a classic style.
Absolutely.
You can find it everywhere. It's widely available.
Delicious. Just a classic of that West Coast pale ale. The piney, the dry, just beautiful, clean finish.
It has withstood the test of time.
It has. And as we pull up Untapped, I do want to highlight that Untapped isn't working. The site is just broken.
Yeah.
I can't even show more for the description.
No,
but you're looking at a 38 solid IBUs, 5.6% ABV. I mean, this beer has over 500,000 ratings on Untapped.
Getting close. If we're going by the Allen scale, it's almost 550,000.
Yeah. I mean, the check-ins are just what? Check-ins are in the millions. Is that what that right there is?
Yes.
Yeah. Total check-ins all time 1.27 million plus.
No. Wow.
Unique is 599,000 there.
Almost 600,000.
Every month, 1,495 check-ins for this beer.
Just Hall of Fame numbers. Just putting up real Hall of Fame numbers.
Just Hall of Fame numbers here.
It was a no-brainer, first ballot. Let's get cracked into this, Dan, and get drinking. 3, 2, 1.
So,
oh.
Never disappoints. A classic West Coast on the nose. Beautifully piney.
You want this kind of beer to smell like Dan's Mercury Cougar in high school.
Ooh, yeah.
Just that bottle cap off.
You want it to smell like mids. You don't want it to smell like good weed. It's got to have that piney, like, dank, like, ooh, this might have seeds.
Yes. You want to drink this expecting a pop from a seed.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a bowl hit with a pop right here, guys. Let's enjoy it together.
Dan, cheers.
Cheers.
I think the consistency is a big thing too.
Yes, to make it consistently good across. I mean, the network of this beer obviously is national within the United States, but I would guarantee there's Sierra Nevada outside of the continental U.S.
Oh yeah. It's just a classic, American pale ale, right? It's piney, resiny, clear,
Yeah,
crispy, yet full body.
full body, nice dry finish on it too. Like you get a lot of that hop flavor up front, disappears into a beautiful malt finish.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about Sierra Nevada. Why? So let's pull this down here and let's get into why this was a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, of course. We mentioned it before we cracked the beer. We have discussed Sierra Nevada Pale Ale ad nauseum on this podcast. Going back to the first episode, talking about desert island beers.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, I feel like when we say quintessential, it's when you say pale ale, Sierra Nevada is what comes to mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, before the days of your hazy pale ales now, this, Sierra Nevada ruled over that pale ale. It was just that classic, like anyone ever said, like, I'd like a pale ale. I immediately assumed it was Sierra Nevada.
Yeah. And it's one of those beers where you go to a bar and you're expecting Miller Lite on tap, Yingling
Yep.
on tap, and I pretty much expect Sierra Nevada on tap most places.
Yeah, in fact, I did see probably our next nomination or our next inductee recently. It's been a while since I've seen a tap handle.
Oh, really?
But it was right next to Sierra Nevada, and it was. I tried to grab a picture of it. The place was packed, but you know how it is with me being 5'4". I have to hold the camera up like this just to try and get a picture of the tap handles.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, excuse me. Why are you wearing a tuxedo shirt, little man?
Pardon me. Can I stand on your bar stool?
I've been wearing it all week, and people have been asking questions. What tuxedo t-shirt? Why are you wearing that shirt? What shirt? That tuxedo shirt. What are you talking about?
I mean, Sierra Nevada has such influence over so many things that they're even starting to influence Major League Baseball, Dan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Haven't you heard about the new torpedo bats?
No, I have not heard about torpedo. What is torpedo bats?
Mhm.
And let's see what we got here. Is this in San Diego?
No, it was in New York. But yes, they're Sierra Nevada has become so influential that they're making torpedo bats, much like the torpedo pale ale, or torpedo IPA, right? It's an IPA. The Yankees analytic department found out that most of the hitters were not hitting the barrel. They were hitting more around like the logo of the bat.
Yeah, I'm looking at one right now.
Yeah,
so torpedo bats.
They moved the fat part of the bat down a little bit.
I see that.
And gave it kind of almost like a little bit of a bowling pin.
Yeah,
type of
it
look.
looks. Yeah, but I guess they're to make it more aggressive. They call it a torpedo.
Yeah, so basically, instead of having the fatter part of the bat at the end, they kind of moved it down and put it in the middle where hitters are hitting the ball. And they put them in place, and the Yankees hit like 8 home runs in one game.
No shit.
Yeah.
I see that Judge is not changing over to the torpedo yet.
No, but he did smack 3 homers, 3 dingers yesterday.
He had a 4 homer weekend.
Yeah. So that's the big controversy. People are like, "Oh, it's the sanctity of the game, blah blah blah." It's like, it's legal.
Yeah,
all of it's legal under the rules of baseball. So
yeah, I'm reading it right now. Like, I guess the rules when it comes to like the bat itself. Yeah.
And now, Dan, did I feel this way on Saturday when I heard about these bets? No, I thought they were cheating.
Yeah,
But
absolutely not. You're like, goddamn Yankees cheating again.
yep. And now the Phillies are going to start bringing some of these bats in. And boy, it's just a real smart baseball move. It's within the confines of the rules. And
Absolutely.
if anyone thinks otherwise, they can kick bricks. Don't be one of those tradition nerds.
Yeah. Now, if the Braves start doing it, it's still fucking cheating.
Doesn't matter. They went like 21 scoreless innings. They couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Oh yeah, I forgot the Padres just messed up their world.
Yeah. The Braves couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
Oh, worst team ever. Yeah, they're gonna even with a torpedo.
Yeah. And now Jerks and Profar just got suspended for 80 games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Braves Braves are they're gonna have a repeat of last season. It's gonna be a swing and a miss of a season.
Beautiful
Yeah.
analogy. Love it.
But getting back to the beer, Hall of Fame. I mean, obviously, Hall of Fame numbers on Untapped. Take what you see on Untapped with a grain of salt, but the numbers don't lie, right? There's over, what was it, 1.27 million check-ins.
Yeah. It was 1.27 million total check-ins.
Like 1,500 daily check-ins.
Yeah. Daily, this beer is getting checked in 1,500 times. This beer is being and that's just a fraction of how much it's being consumed.
Yeah.
Like, not, everybody checks it in. I know there are some psychos on Untapped that just check in beers multiple times, and it's just weird.
Yeah. I mean, you got people like me. I don't check anything in anymore.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for this podcast, I probably would have deleted Untapped off my phone.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're just using the podcast profile name anyway for Untapped.
Yeah. So there's 1,500, about roughly 1,500 daily check-ins, and that's not even accounting for all the people that are drinking it.
No, not even, and that's still heavy numbers.
Yeah. So you'd be hard pressed to find another beer. You're looking at maybe Miller Lite numbers.
Just wait, Tom. Just wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the astonishing numbers. And then the beer itself is just, like we said, it's quintessential in this category. When you think of a pale ale, you're thinking Sierra Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, when you're thinking craft, like early craft beer, Sierra Nevada is going to be one of the names.
Yeah, and I think that's a big factor, especially for myself. When I think, if you said name a beer that's synonymous with craft beer, it's Sierra Nevada. I feel like it's a lot of people that's their introduction to craft beer. Especially people our age, Dan.
Oh, absolutely.
We were part of the craft beer boom.
We're craft beer boomers, if you will.
We're
boomers, but we're boomers with craft beer. We are totally boomers for craft beer. Because now the younger generation hates beer now. We're boomers now for drinking craft beer.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, okay, boomer.
Even the newer generations, they're looking for the fruited sours like we talked about last week.
Yeah,
the sweeter stuff.
The sweeter stuff, RTDs and all that jazz. We are craft beer boomers. God,
we are.
The realization made me shiver for initially.
I mean, go back and listen to season 2 to 2 and 3 of this podcast.
Yeah,
we're very boomery.
Very boomery.
Complaining about these teens and their smoogies.
We were boomer-esque.
Yeah, we're boomer adjacent.
Boomer adjacent. Ooh, I like that. Write it down.
Boomer adjacent. That's the name of the episode.
We'll say the first annual Hall of Fame of craft beer, semicolon, boomer adjacent. Yeah. I mean, these beers are pretty boomer adjacent. Even some of the older generation ahead, in front of us, this is what they were enjoying. This is
Yeah.
how we got into craft beer. The only reason, shelves were stocked with Sierra Nevada in a small town in Pennsylvania is because there was a whole generation of craft beer boomers before us that brought this pale ale to be readily accessible for us.
And when you think of like the early stages of like the craft beer getting popular, a lot of it was pale ales and IPAs, like West Coast pale ales.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the big style, right?
Yeah. People wanted something, different from the lagers, and it's not a slight against lagers, but craft beer that stood out above lagers was these, West Coast pale ales, these hoppy alternatives. And you look at like the Belgian beers, they were more of like that dark fruit, like stone fruit alternative right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a different. I would love to go back to when like these kind of beers came out and like what craft beer purists were saying.
Yeah, what was the Tom of 1994 like?
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be a guy who was like Tom in 1994. We're gonna find him in like some gastro pub in the middle of nowhere. He's got a beard sitting in the corner. You're like, oh, you're looking for. They know his name. They call him the old curmudgeon. You're looking for old man pale ale in the corner there.
It's just
comes here and drinks Sierra Nevada and stares at you judgingly.
Yeah. How many people were saying that these pale ales were just a fad? They'll pass.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably somebody, like you, who had a craft beer radio show, because it was probably AM radio back then.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how much, these pale ales and their hoppiness.
Have you seen these, Dan? Have you seen these pale ales?
Have the ticker in the background. Next up.
These damn kids and their pale ales. I'm just going to sit back with my delicious Belgian triple.
Ooh. Have you had 2,500 of them or 2,900 of them?
I don't know. What is he at?
I don't care.
It's. I think honestly, I think if you listen to his episode that he did with Richie, which Dan, March has come and gone, and here we are. Not on the Brewed Out podcast, but it's neither here nor there.
We were too well dressed for that podcast.
Yeah. If you want to message
as you can tell from our tuxedo t-shirts.
If you guys want to message Richie at Richie Tevlin on Instagram, if you want to message him and be like, we want Best Friends Pod on your podcast. What are you guys waiting for?
And then we show up and do the classic Kevin from The Office. Well.
But yeah, if you listen to Alan's episode on the Brewed Out podcast, he mentions he doesn't drink during the week. He drinks only every so often on the weekend because
he's throwing up just crazy numbers. Isn't that binge drinking?
I think it's all Fugazi, Dan.
You think it's all Fugazi?
I'm calling fakery.
Ooh, fake news.
I think he is stat padding on his Untapped.
I like Tom. That is an accusation, and
it seems like
he's binge drinking on the weekends,
but if you
throwing up literally crazy numbers.
Andrew is very sad that March is gone.
Yes, well, March, he's a big March mildness person.
Oh, okay.
So with Forest and Main's March Mild, it's an awesome concept, and we talked about it a couple episodes ago at the beginning of March. Great concept involving just drinking one of my favorite styles. I do love a nice dark mild, but you drink it throughout the month of March.
So, Dan, you got to think every video. He's seemingly almost at this next milestone. But on the podcast, he's saying like he'll drink like on a Saturday. He doesn't drink very often.
So he's just putting 50 different beers into him on a Saturday, just like to pad those numbers.
But is he just checking in? You don't have to drink a beer to check it in.
There are a ton of beers that he checks or he discusses in his reels that he says, I've never had it before, but it's probably a good alternative.
Is he just putting out the episode and
checking it in? Ooh, Tom, craft beer conspiracy.
You heard it
over
here
here
first.
in Pennsylvania. He is regarded on the reels throughout the world, but little controversy here in Pennsylvania. Are his numbers real? We want to see the tax returns. We want to see it, Alan. We want to see it.
Are you the Angel Reese of craft beer? Are you just standing under the rim, gathering your own rebounds? You're missing 6 layups. You're getting 5 rebounds and putting 1 bucket in. You're a double machine, but you're still a terrible basketball player.
You made my eyes roll back with a WNBA reference where I was like, oh, she has a meal at McDonald's, and that's the extent of which I know of her.
Yeah, she's I'll send you some reels, Dan. They're spectacular.
Awesome. I need to get up on the WNBA.
But you heard it here first. Alan Jacques, we are Jacquesing you of stat padding, untapped stat padding.
Ooh,
do you believe in double check-ins? I know people always check in Pottsville Classic Lager, tons.
Well, yeah, that we talked about that before you hopped on. Like those people are psychotic.
That is stat padding.
It's not even stat padding though, because it doesn't go into your numbers of like, I've had almost 2,500 beers. If you check in a beer once and you check it in multiple times, that doesn't bring up the number. Like it doesn't bring up the unique beers. So
so that's just pure psychotic behavior.
Yeah. And I see it a lot with like people that come into breweries or just like they checked it in. I was like, oh, you've never checked in Bleed Green before. And they're like, oh no, I just check it in every time I have it. And I get that face from Clerks 2 when he's talking about pillow pants. And my face is just like, what? Yeah, I like to go into Untapped every time I have a beer and check it in.
Yeah, I drank a 6-pack the other day.
Yeah, and I go
all 6.
Yeah, I go regardless if you've had it before. So how many times have you checked in and just making the example Bleed Green? How 236 times. What?
Yeah. What was the there was Pillow Pants. What was the other one?
Oh, Lister Fiend.
Yes. Lister Fiend.
I recently watched that clip.
Mouth troll.
Yeah. I had to recently watch that clip to show like that face is my exact like just shock and awe face for everything. And I wish it was a GIF that people got. Like I would just put the picture up there and they're just like, what's that? I'm just like, oh, well, I have to explain it to you now. And I send over the Pillow Pants. Yeah. I send over the Pillow Pants like clip and they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely the face.
Yeah. Well, Dan, so for broad ideas here, Miller Lite unique check-ins just shy of 475,000 check-ins.
Oh,
almost 4,900 monthly check-ins, and total check-ins is just over 2 million. But it's just short of 400,000 ratings. So it's not being rated. And it's rated at 2.55. People, it's just, most of that is people being like,
it's fucking water. Why do I want to drink water? I was like, it's the best tasting water you'll ever have. Shut your goddamn mouth.
Yeah. So it has, Sierra Nevada has more unique check-ins total.
Yeah.
Less total. So about 750,000 less total check-ins, and about half of the month, or no, oh my gosh, no, like 3 times less monthly check-ins. But that's to be expected. It's Miller Lite is just should be it's bought 3 times more than Sierra Nevada.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's just crazy that how similar though the numbers are like with total check-ins. Like and when we get to our next one, you're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be very surprised.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go grab mine. Do you want to intro this one, Dan?
I will intro this one because I have failed Tom. So I will bring this one up here as I did not fail him in that I was able to get a tuxedo t-shirt for this, but I did forget to get any sort of takeout for our next guy here. So let me get this pulled up. I'm getting some very slow responses here from browser can't access the screen. Ooh.
Dan, before we get to this, you nominated Sierra Nevada.
Yes.
Close us out. Why the nomination? Why is it a first ballot Hall of Famer in your heart of hearts?
Well, Tom, it's the GOAT. It is the GOAT of craft beer, in my opinion. It brought it brings a lot of fond memories of drinking craft beer back in the day. And though I didn't start with Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, it became one of my favorites over a long stored history of enjoying craft beer. I love it. It's it had to be in the induction. Just I reference it way too many times on this podcast and not do it.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I two-heartedly agree.
Two-heartedly agree. Love that.
Yeah, I think if there was going to be a beer that was the first beer to be inducted into the Hall of Fame of craft beer, it's this one. All right, so moving on, our second inductee into the Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
Get that music going, Tom. Beautiful.
We have Bell's Two Hearted IPA from Bell's Brewery in Michigan. What is there to say about this beer? It's a surprise. I think this was like a dark horse nominee.
Yeah, came out of nowhere. It was a beer that we enjoyed, but we never thought like, and then you brought it to this and it brought back so many fond memories.
Yeah, it's and I think like you said, Dan, these untapped numbers, surprising.
So yeah, shocking in comparison to our first inductee. I mean, a total of 1.67 million total check-ins right there. Actually hovering close to the same as Sierra Nevada with 599,000 unique.
Mm-hmm.
We're also looking at monthly check-ins, over 1,000 more monthly check-ins.
Yeah,
than
almost double here with 2,555 monthly check-ins. You're looking at an average rating of 500 or average rating of 3.94 with 543,000 ratings. 55 IBUs, Dan.
It's climbing. Well, we're going into IPA territory here, so we're going bitter. We're going even more bitter. We're pressing the envelope of bitter.
All right, so I'm gonna get a crack here because Dan, you can just do it.
Yeah, I completely forgot to get Bell's to it. I did have one over the weekend though, and it was delicious.
3, 2,
1, go. Beautiful. Yeah. So I was
very Mercury Cougary on the
oh man,
on the nose.
That's a piney boy right there. I was at a bar that had a pretty good craft beer selection, and Bell's Two Hearted tap handle right next to our first inductee, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and it was like it just spoke to me where I had to say I'm gonna have a Bell's Two Hearted tonight. I think.
You know, it was definitely like when we said we were going to do this and we were trying to think of nominees. This was one. I've had a top 5 craft beers that has been relatively unchanged for
very shelf stable, if you will.
Yes, very shelf stable top 5 beers. Bell's was one of if not the first IPA where I was like, holy hell, I need more of this. This is a perfect beer.
Yeah, it is a perfect representation of the American IPA. I mean, look at that color right there.
Yeah.
Beautiful amber color, nice rocky head. I mean, that's looking like it's gonna just be a pine bomb right there.
Dan, cheers.
Cheers. Still enjoying my Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I'm so sorry, Bells.
It's just, it's such an approachable beer, and it was, I think, a little bit ahead of its time, in the sense that it's a 7%. Very, it's Pacific Northwest. It's all Centennial,
Yep.
right? But it's a little juicy.
It's got a little bit of juice. And in fact, I think it's actually gotten a little like they've tweaked the recipe a little bit to kind of fall into more modern times. Cause I've seen like its iterations and, they finally eventually just did the hazy hearted, but it was one that like, in my opinion, it has a couple tweaks. Who hasn't? I mean, over the years, like you look at quality of the beer, and in the 1990s, and then you look at it, what the trends are in craft beer today, and some subtle tweaks are made, innovations in brewing. But it's got a juice factor to it. It definitely had a little bit more than I was expecting.
And it's just a very enjoyable beer. When I say it's a perfect beer, it's approachable. It's a little outside of that sweet spot for crushability, but it's not too heavy-handed at 7%.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know what you're getting into when you're ordering a Bell's. You're not looking for something to crush real quick.
No.
I mean, you're going for flavor. You're going to Flavor Town this one, ladies and gentlemen.
55 IBUs, it's going to be bitter.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it's balanced really well with the malt.
Yeah.
It's a flavor bomb, but it's not super heavy. It's just a really well-balanced beer.
I agree.
And again, the numbers jump off the paper, right? It's unexpected when I saw, almost 600,000 unique check-ins. Like, this is one, it's along the same lines as Sierra Nevada, where it's widely available.
Yes. Again, another one you can get coast to coast in the continental United States. I mean, I'm sure there are some iterations or not iterations, but there's some distribution footprints in other countries. Dude, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh man, I lost my train of thought right there, but it was too much not to bring up.
Yeah.
Andrew over there. We were talking about doing a what was the segment always called?
Beer's no longer with us.
Yeah. What did they call it in the Oscars?
In memoriam.
In memoriam. We were going to do an in memoriam segment of beers that are no longer with us, and talk about that. One I was talking about recently was done by Rogue. I think it was like beard beer. You ever have that one where they made it with yeast from the owner's beard?
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Rogue does some wild stuff.
Yeah.
They had one I always wanted to try, but it was like one of the ones, like, they did a phase where they did like celebrity beers, and I don't know, they were like one-off things. They had one called Ryan and the Gosling. I always wanted to try that and could never get my hands on it.
Holy crap, this is still in production. They're still doing beard beer.
Really?
Oh no, wait. Oh, it says, okay, yeah, it's no longer being produced, but somebody checked this in like March. Are you serious?
Oh, I was wrong. It's not Rogue. It was Evil Twin did Ryan and the Gosling.
Oh, okay. That kind of makes sense. They kind of do some fun things like that. But yeah, I mean, people have recently checked this in, which is pretty crazy. Yes, a real late check-in made with beer yeast. I like this real late check-in. I wonder when they stopped, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's no longer in production. for that. I mean, such a crazy, it's a crazy concept, but yeah, we were thinking about doing it in memoriam for beers no longer in production, but I would say this one would have been one beard beer.
Yeah, I always want to try this Ryan and the Gosling. It's an all Brett pale ale.
Oh, so pale ale probably conditioned or like with Brettanomyces or something like barrel conditioned or something like that. I've had some good funky pale ales. The pale ale I think works well with the blending process because I see a lot of people doing pale ales that are just super funky and delicious, but we'd have to kind of bring that up with a brewer to confirm.
Yeah, it's a wild never had I don't think I've had a Brett pale ale.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one either. I've had funky ones, but I mean, it
Yeah.
could be considered a Brett, but you know,
This is it's
Source had a really good one.
the description just says, "Hey girl, just listening to you talk about how the 100% Brettanomyces with CMY1, CMY5, CMY7, along with the mash consisting of pale 2-row Munich 2 oats, wheat, and honey, together with citrus peel and juice that is added at knockout, followed by fresh zest with balanced citrusy hop characteristics at Whirlpool, makes me want to drink this beer just for you." What a great description.
Perfect. Love it.
Yeah. But back to Two Hearted. This is one that's always been in my like top tier beer list, right? It's a quintessential IPA for me. When I think of IPAs, I think of Bell's Two Hearted. I feel like this is one where it was like the label was so like always stood out. Like, why the fish? What is Two Hearted? Like, why? How does it all go together?
Yeah, we kind of discovering that on our initial nomination episode. It's pretty interesting to concept, and watching the artwork evolve was pretty cool. Tom,
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you a photo, and I just want to see what your initial reaction is when you see this photo.
Okay.
Oh,
it's very dark. It's my initial reaction.
I was thinking, hell yeah. I mean, this is the view.
Yeah. I mean, yes, hell yeah.
I was hoping to get a hell yeah out of you. Your
Very
goddamn glasses ruined that.
Is this from your photo?
No, I just happened to be scrolling through Untapped to see if I could find a funny check-in. I saw that, and my first thought, hell yeah. Like, that's an outdoor bar, sitting at an outdoor bar with a can of Bell's Two Hearted.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing says hell yeah like that.
But yeah, this is it was I feel like this was a pretty easy choice for me. It was between this and Perpetual, and at the end of the day, this is a beer I've rekindled just by doing this. I've rekindled my love for this. I'll definitely start going back to this well. I think I prefer the cans specifically for my small beer fridge.
I have a small beer fridge too with a lot of bottles just laid over.
Mm-hmm.
I have to redo the shelves. I think I have to, and it's a sign of the new season of the Best Friends podcast. I'm considering a bottle shelf.
A bottle shelf. Ooh.
Yeah. Keep some 12-ounce cold glass buoys in there.
I like it. I have bottles just stacked everywhere because I went to Giant tonight, which I was talking to you about. I was at the Royersford, the very lovely, not white trash at all, Royersford Giant.
Totally not white trash.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say with a straight face.
Getting my singles, right? And I was like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to buy 2 beers? Yeah, all right. Let me get a mix 6. I
gotta say too, and it's probably everywhere, but Man, the mix, the singles, you got to watch out, man. Dates are tough. I almost got a too hard from there, and it was like from October of 2024. I went, nah, I'm not doing that.
I don't even know. This is Best Buy May 25.
Oh, okay. So you got some time. See,
Yeah.
they put the Best Buy on that one. This one, it's crazy how I've been just scrolling through check-ins of Bell's Two Hearted. I have not seen a bad check-in, nor have I seen I haven't seen like a funny like bad check-in where they're just trashing it. Like it's all just 4 and above, everybody loving it.
Almost 550,000 check-ins or 550,000 ratings and a consistent nearly 4 bottle cap, which is unheard of.
Never mind, Tom. Found one.
Found one?
Yeah, I think you should adopt this slogan.
Yes, I'm taking that now. I got a hearted and we're getting retarded. Oh, sorry. I got a hearted and we're getting
Tom, we can't really see the person's face who took this picture, but is this you? Are you Jack's Straits on Untapped? Because that is a good
that's a great handle.
Actually, I'm going to go to Jack Straits right now to see how available or just how amazing his other check-ins are. Not as good. Not as good. Nope.
Man. So you first glimpse at Jack Straight, you got the peak of his Untapped check-ins.
That was probably the best. Man, hearted and oh, you're not gonna. Okay, it's fine.
Go ahead.
Hearted and beautiful.
But yeah, so the end of the day, it's going to be hard to move this out of my top 5.
Absolutely. I feel like Jack Straits said it best for you.
Yeah, I just get hearted and
beautiful.
Boop, boop, rebooped. Yeah, this was my nominee. It's a top tier beer for me. It always has been. I don't know if I can find a better, more consistent IPA to replace it with. Something readily available that I can just go pick up on any weekend. Obviously, you can get like probably tastier IPAs, maybe from like a local brewer,
like a local, a local one. Local. I was mid-yawn, came out Canadian.
So yeah, you're a little
like Swedish chef.
Danish, Swedish chef.
Local beers. Yeah, you can probably get a good local IPA, but like, who is making a local American IPA like that?
I mean, you get a good look at an IPA up a brewer's ass, but I'd rather take his word for it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%, Tom. You're sure a lot of us would like to go to a local craft brewery that has an American IPA as piney as that, but you're not going to find one. It's tough. It is very tough. You know, you'll have some niche brewers who are like die hard that this is going to stay in their lineup, but it's tough to find.
All right, Dan, let's move on. You ready for the listener's choice?
Yeah, so cue the music, Tom. We are moving on to.
You got it queued up.
There it is. We are going on to our listener's choice here, and this is one we discussed last episode if you follow along, but today we are going to end our inductees with the viewer's choice, listener's choice here of, that's right, guys, Nugget Nectar from Trogs Independent. Oh, goddamn, Tom.
Yeah,
Tom's ready for a nuggie right now.
Yeah, it smelled like hops and giant fried chicken.
Ooh, Rose, giant fried chicken, rough.
Yeah, what a mixture.
Tom, yeah, so we're going to be diving into Nugget Nectar from Trogs. It's impossible to forget your first nugget once a year as the newest. I mean, this is a once a year beautiful one here. We're looking at a total unique check-ins. Obviously, half of what we were really at with the other two, but that doesn't mean this is not, you know, I mean, these are still Hall of Fame numbers because unlike the other beers, this is a once a year beer right here.
Yeah.
This is a seasonal once a year beer with total check-ins of 491,000 right there. You've got unique check-ins at 183,000 here for this. And it gets monthly check-ins of 734. This is a seasonal beer, folks. This comes out but once a year from Trogs. And it is I wouldn't say a tiny brewery in Pennsylvania, but compared to the ones that we've inducted here into the craft beer Hall of Fame of craft beer, this is a small but mighty inductee, in my opinion. I am just creating a speech based off of this amazing music.
You let the music take control.
I did, man. It making me want to say, like, I want to tell all the pilots that they're going to beat the aliens on the 4th of July.
This is our Hop Dependence Day.
Yes. 3, 2, 1, go.
I really hope that the rumble of the thunder during your speech came through the microphone.
God, I hope. Tom, and as we're pouring this out, before I take away our screen, I also want to highlight 93 IBUs on this bad boy with a 7.5% ABV. We're going a little higher, guys. We're ending on a slightly heavier boy now.
So this was
I'm gonna be a slightly heavier boy after these beers.
Yeah, for real. This was a very hoppy first ballot. Andrew brings up a thing. Would Perpetual be similar to Two Hearted? Access to it is, of course, everywhere. Well, everywhere in PA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you get the distribution footprint with that. And yeah, we'd have to look at the numbers. We'd have to look at states where it's available. But I'm venturing a guess without looking at the numbers that Bell's Two Hearted is probably easier accessible across more states and potentially some countries than Nugget Nectar or Trogs Perpetual. I'm sorry.
I would agree. And again, this was Perpetual was that was 1D for me. It's in my fridge right now. It's still waiting for me.
Yeah, it was number 3 for me. Like I had Pale Ale, I had 60 Minute, and next in my my hoppy beers was going to be Perpetual.
Yeah. So we might be looking at the second ballot Hall of Famer, maybe Perpetual. We'll see.
That's a beautiful beer.
Daniel,
cheers
buddy.
Oh, so lordy.
This was nominated by the Bit.
Yeah, the Bit, who are A1 from day one. I would say I mean he sold us on his research. I mean, he went out in the field for this podcast. He did research for this podcast.
Yeah, he hit the road, got the information because
he's not getting paid by us.
No, just for the love of the game.
For the love of the game, he goes out there and he asks the real questions at Trogs, which made choosing this as our listener's choice inductee for the first ever Hall of Fame of craft beer that much easier.
Yeah. So I think it came down to he listed a couple. Mad Elf. We talked about Mad Elf. We talked about Nugget Nectar, obviously. What were the other ones? Golden Monkey, I think he put out there.
Yeah, Golden Monkey was another one. And I mean, if we talked ad nauseum about Sierra Nevada, we also talked ad nauseum about Golden Monkey from Victory.
Yeah.
So that one was it was a tough choice for listener submissions, but after he did his research, he made a very, very convincing argument for Nugget Nectar, and Yeah, we agreed as a podcast. This is it. This is the one that's going in.
Yeah. So for a once a year beer, they produce. This is like the second highest producing beer.
Second, yeah.
Trogs?
So yeah, based on the research from good old Bit, I believe he said it's the second highest in production.
Yeah,
Second
and these numbers are brought to you by the Bits Bit.
Yeah, so this is the Bits Bit. Bit News, Bit NN, Bit News Network, BNN.
Yeah, so this is the second highest producing beer at Trogs and being a once a year release.
Insane. Once a year, second highest in production.
And it was a pretty easy choice for us as far as the listener's choice goes, because it's so near and dear to our hearts. And like you mentioned, Dan, like of beers that we've talked about on the podcast, I mean, we've featured this multiple times, right?
Absolutely.
It was like the first beer that, at least for you and I, was like the release came out. Like somebody would post on Facebook like, "Oh, Nugget Nectar's at Wegmans."
Yeah.
And you'd have to run over there.
Remember working there in college, hopping into the beer cooler and talking to the beer manager, like Tyrone Bigham, just scratching her neck. You're like, y'all got any of those Nugget Nectars in?
Mm-hmm.
I remember having the guy like text me. He goes, "Hey, Nugget Nectar came in. I hid 2 6-packs behind some beers for you. Just go in and grab them." And I would go, just so because I would finish my shift and the shelf would be empty. So on my way out, I'd just hit the cooler and people were like, "Where'd you find that? It was empty and sold out." I'm just like, well,
double deuces.
Yeah.
I don't got this gold name tag for nothing.
I did graduate to the gold one after a few years. I stayed there way too long.
But yeah, this was like the first like big like release. It was like this in Black Ops.
Black Ops was a big one. Yeah. When Brooklyn Black Ops would make its way down into Pennsylvania, it was tough to get. And that another one, hid it behind a couple cases of beer in the cooler. Go grab it.
Yeah, because I was at the time that was just Bombers. It was just the corked bottles, and there's no consistency to their releases.
Yeah,
it wasn't like where it wasn't like
there wasn't a schedule. It was always like similar like time frame, but it was always around a certain time. But man, it was, you never knew when it was going to drop into distribution.
Yeah. So it was just one of those things, like, and dating ourselves here, but it would pop up on Facebook, and one of your friends would post about like, "Hey, just grab Nugget Nectar." I remember I got it when I was living in Brooklyn.
Ooh.
And the girl I was dating at the time, she lived above a bottle shop, and I think you had like texted me about Nugget Nectar being released, and I went downstairs to it was a craft bottle shop when these were not popular, especially in Manhattan.
Yeah, I feel like Nugget Nectar up there is like they opened like a second door behind like the counter, and they're like, "Follow me," and you had to go down through like a stone like corridor.
No, it was a really cool bottle shop, because it was one of those ones where like, do you remember like the bar in How I Met Your Mother where like you had to go down a couple steps to get to the entrance?
Yeah.
Like under the sidewalk. That was like the bottle shop. I went in there, and it was they just had just a full case of it, like a full stack of it. And I was like, yes, I'm gonna grab one of these. Beautiful. Took it up and drank it, and like the girl I was with, she was like, "Oh, I've never had anything like this." I was like, yeah, this is PA. This is what we do.
An absurdly hopped red ale. You're welcome.
Yeah. Is it an IPA? No, it's a red ale, bitch.
Yeah, the only red ale we're never gonna trash on this podcast. since we just went on a tirade like what 2 episodes ago about how much we hate red ales.
Well, technically, Dan, I believe it's an amber ale.
Oh, is it an amber ale? I always thought it was a red. I guess it is an amber ale. Yeah.
Amber ale.
Just well, it's red. It's actually classified as a red ale imperial double in Untapped, but it's Untapped.
I mean, if 311 taught us anything, amber is the color of its energy.
It's probably just synonymous, like red ale, amber ale, but amber just hit me. It just hit me what you did. It was pretty late, but man, that was beautiful. Hold on.
I hope everybody celebrated 311 Day, by the way. It just passed.
I watched 311 Tiny Desk, and so good. It's good, but good God, did they age poorly?
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. They aged like tomatoes out in the sun.
And watching them sing the songs, it was a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was like watching dads do karaoke at a local bar.
Watching those old guys start to rap, like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, God damn it.
Right.
Yeah. That's like the old guy who puts on Limp Bizkit at the karaoke. All of a sudden you hear like Rolling come on.
Yeah.
That person was me.
That person was you. But yeah, this was an easy one. It's definitely hyper local. I don't know how much of this gets released nationwide, but it was
to find it in New York was probably pretty lucky.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was like a specialty. Again, it was like a craft bottle shop in Manhattan when like craft beer was not really a big thing there.
Yeah.
It was it's such a special beer to us. It's definitely like a beer that Dan and I have shared many a times.
Absolutely.
You love when you hear like, hey, it's Nugget Nectar season.
Yeah,
it's time. Like, hey, I got to go out and at least get a 6-pack.
It always, man, it always hit like it's in January, but when the snow starts falling and like seriously, it's like the dead of winter, and you just came out of a bourbon barrel stout coma from the holidays.
Yeah.
And you're like, I couldn't possibly enjoy something with a high ABV and strong hop flavor. And then all of a sudden you get it and you go, I can keep going. I can keep going this winter.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, easy choice, listener's choice. First nomination, inductee for the listener's choice. Nugget Nectar. I think it's a fine choice. Listeners didn't let us down.
Absolutely not. Listener didn't let us down with that one. Didn't get any other nominations, guys. Come on. You listen to the podcast. Bring it in. You either agreed with us 100% on ours and didn't have any other choices, or you didn't want to do it. So do it next time, guys.
Too lazy. Just too lazy.
Next time we run this, we need more. We need us to be tough. And circling back around to the inductees who didn't, or the nominations who didn't make it, we had Yards Brawler, we had Dogfish Head 60 Minute. That is not saying that they're out completely.
No,
these could be nominated again.
Sure. I mean, Roger Clemens is still on the ballot.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, those are still around. Dan, I looked long and hard at a 90-minute IPA today.
You know what? I looked at one as well a few days ago in the singles, actually. Mm-hmm. I think it was when I got to Sierra Nevada. I went
probably looked at the same one.
Yeah, it's probably the same one from July that they've had in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like 60 Minute is a very strong contender. I think there are a couple more that I've been thinking of that are deserving. Maybe not exactly podcast favorites, but I think there are a couple that are like, we just have to give credit where credit's due.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there are, the ones that we've, discussed could come back around,
Yep.
This is not over for the year. We were talking about doing this, and we spitball the idea of do we do it quarterly? Do we do it every other month? Do we just keep doing an inductee once a month? I mean, that'll fill our schedule pretty well if we just did that. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the Hall of Fame of craft beer. This is not it's not goodbye forever. It's just goodbye for now for our classic listeners.
Yeah. So as we punch out here, we gotta say salute to our
I love it.
Our initial class, our introductory class of the Hall of Fame of craft beer. Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Bell's Two-Hearted IPA. And Trogs Nugget Nectar.
Beautiful.
It's a fine class, Dan.
It's a fine class.
I don't see any controversy with this class.
Nope.
I think this is. I think we've done well. I think we can tighten it up in Q2.
Q2. Yeah, we'll talk about the next one when we come in. I mean, Tom, I was surprised this was an extremely hoppy class. So, I don't want style to dictate what we do next, but I may be thinking outside the hot box for next time.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas.
Nice.
And I think we wrap it up here. Well, this has been the very first class of the Hall of Fame of craft beer. It's been Best Friends Podcast, episode 255.
And we are out, ladies and gentlemen.
See you.
I love how you have the music going.
Yeah, we're done. Done with audio. Audio is done. Well, Dan, very successful.
Yes, absolutely successful. I can't wait to get this penguin suit off. I mean, it's killing me. It's way too much to wear on a Monday night. Tuxedos were a terrible choice.
Like I said, a formal occasion calls for formal attire.
It does, Tom.
We executed.
You weren't wrong. You weren't wrong. Yeah, we executed it flawlessly, color coordinated. I mean, just perfect.
Yeah, and we're prepared for the next Hall of Fame inductions.
Absolutely. I kind of want to take the sleeves off this bad boy so bad.
Man, that would be pretty sick, Dan. Dan, do you have a top 5 craft beers?
No, like I never thought of it in terms of like a top 5 craft beers. I've always thought about like my top 5 beers.
Okay.
And like, because, someone asked me my top 5 craft beers once, and I think I named Sierra Nevada. I named PBR, and that's where I went. That's not craft beer, but it is one of my top 5 beers.
I would say, I think that's a fair thing to do. Just top 5 beers.
Top 5 beers. Yes. Because I think PBR is just, if I see it out there, I'm gonna get it. And I recently fell back in love with it snowboarding. I ride with a bunch of hazy guys who are, they're getting out of the haze craze. So I don't feel so bloated after all of our, sessions on the mountain there after kicking back a bunch of hazy IPAs. But drinking PBR again it's such a, it's in my top 5 with that. Oh man, what are some other top 5 beers that I go back to constantly? I would put Lawson Sip of Sunshine in there. That is a top 5 beer for me. I enjoy that one a lot. High Life, that would be rounding out 4 right there. I get a lager, I get a hazy, or I get a lager, I get an IPA. I kind of want
a lager drink, you get a hazy drink.
Yeah,
a cider drink.
No ciders. There's got to be a cider in that top 5.
Time to remind you of the better times. Would you say you get knocked down and you get up again? They're not ever going to keep you down, man.
I love the way you tub thump, Tom. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think top 5 beers really are where I'm at with that. I don't even have like a stout I would put in my top 5. I know you probably have got Old Rasputin up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my I feel like my top 5's all over the place. I used to have a very like solid top 5. And I
Okay.
feel like a couple have like fallen out just because I haven't had them in a while. Um Bell's Two Hearted. Um Old Rasputin, Edmund Fitzgerald,
Yeah, that was the other one. I was trying to remember that one.
Miller High Life,
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
and maybe Pilsner Urquell.
That's a good one. Yeah. Man, see, a top 5's tough because I would think of another one then. I'd be like, ooh, do I take out Pilsner or Keller? Do I put something else in there? Is
So,
there another
yeah.
like European beer I like more than that? Do I want to represent the European theater in my top 5? Or am I just a red-blooded American?
Mine used to be very stout heavy. So like I had like Yeti, Great Divide Yeti in there.
That is a good one.
It's a great one. I haven't had it in so long.
Ooh, you know what I
So
had
it's
out?
hard to keep it in my top 5.
You know, I had in Colorado that was like, speaking of like Yeti, I had Left Hand's Milk Stout.
Yes, I was just about to say I'm pretty sure I had Left Hand Milk Stout in my top 5 because
Yeah.
that was one that was at consistently at Bistro
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
would always get.
I have a left hand pint glass that I may or may not have taken from Bistro back in 2008, 2009. It's in my glass case.
I also had Dale. I think at one point I had Dale's 1050 in there.
Yeah, if you want to go and talk about other good West Coast beers, Dale's Pale Ale is an
Yeah.
awesome one too.
Yeah. I'm sure like people would put like Pliny in their top 5.
Yeah, I mean Pliny's is a beautiful beer. I do enjoy it a little bit more than I like Racer 5, but I feel like Pliny's just has something clean about Pliny when it comes out. It's got just like it's like it came out of like, I don't want to say it's like the name kind of puts like a mental image in my head, but like it feels like it comes from a river. Like it's just so refreshing.
Yeah. I feel like I just haven't had it enough to like say
Yeah.
yes, this is a top 5 for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Top 5 stuff. It's a tough thing to have. I feel like there are 3 that have been consistent in my top 5, and outside of that, Miller High Life has just been like I mean, that's just like the beer.
Yeah, it's such a delicious beer.
And it's like, do you go banquet beer? Do you go High Life? They're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, I just like High Life because it's like a little lighter. It's just a little lighter. Like
I think
beer's got a little bit more body. It's a little bit of a heavier lager. I do enjoy more of the Pilsner.
Yeah,
that you get from High Life.
I think if somebody put a High Life and a banquet in front of me and said you had to choose one, I'd probably reach for the banquet 9 times out of or the High Life 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, I would say in the winter, if I was on a mountain or something, I see a banquet beer, I would definitely sit on like a nice full-bodied banquet beer. But man, like something about a High Life in any situation, it's more universal in my opinion.
The champagne of beer, man.
Champagne of beers, baby.
It is nice to sometimes. I mean, the fucking pill bottle is so sick.
It is sick. Yeah, with the banquet beer, it's cool. But then you have the long neck champagne flute looking bottle with High Life though. They're both unique. So
yep. Happy with how the Hall of Fame turned out.
Absolutely. I'm glad we chose 12-ounce beers for this one.
Yeah. I'm excited for the next round of this. I'm already thinking of beers to nominate.
Awesome.
I think one of my nominations I think you're probably not going to be happy with.
Oh no.
Um,
Oh no.
definitely one that we used to drink a lot of, but don't drink so much anymore. But
Ooh.
deserves a spot.
Ooh. All right. Well, yeah, chat it over to me. I don't know I don't know what you're talking about. And man, once it hits, I might either just be upset or here we go. What do we got? Ooh, that is I'm not upset, Tom. I'm not mad, but I feel like it's valid. I think it is a valid nomination.
I think
Do
just
I
because
will I trash it? A little bit, but I'm
probably
gonna but it's something, yeah, exactly.
got to give it its roses.
We gotta give it its nomination.
Yeah.
We have to give it its fair shake.
I think there was a point in time when if you went to a bar and you said this style, all you could just say
if
the
you were at
style
a
of beer,
yeah,
and they would hand you this beer.
hyper local, if you were in
I don't even know if it was hyper
Pennsylvania.
local.
It was Pennsylvania, man. Like you
Yeah.
think about it, like
But I wouldn't call that hyper local.
not hyper, but like yeah, if you were at a bar in Pennsylvania,
Or New
more
Jersey.
more so central, east, and yeah, Jersey, and you ordered it by the style, the bartender knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
You just had to say the style, just
Yeah.
the
And
style,
it's crazy because there's no other beer that is like that.
and that is a valid point for nomination, Tom, and that is why I'm not mad at you.
I think I'm excited. I got things brewing in, not to, no pun intended, but I got some ideas brewing in my mind.
I was gonna say is something brewing, but I didn't want to get a trademark from those old guys. They look like they're ready for litigation at any time.
All right, Dan. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
We have to prepare for next week. I feel like we can maybe next week might be we'll figure out either a beer or do a what you drinking, but I feel like we have a brewer that we need to reach out to. I think we have an appropriate amount of time that we can reach out to a certain brewer to get them on.
Has he had enough leave?
Yeah, I think so.
I think they're both back to work. I think it's fine. I think we can get them.
Probably. But yeah, we should reach out to him and set up something so I can stop by and grab some beers for us
and get me a goddamn pizza.
Get a pizza.
Get me a goddamn hot honey pepperoni John for me. Oh God, I can't.
A rectangle of pizza.
I need a rectangle of pizza and some good frothy beers. Let's do it.
All right, let's get on that, and we'll see everybody next week.
Peace out.